What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another profile here on TCG University for the card game UniVersus. My name's Tam, and today I'm going to be talking about Tyler's Ermac deck. A little preface, this deck was really hard. This deck, I think, has got a cool idea going for it. Is this going to win the next Worlds? No, this deck is not going to win the next Worlds, but I think it's an okay starting point for somebody who is interested in the character Ermac. So, if you like that, make sure you check out the matches that he was shown off in this week's Campus Championship, the end of the line Campus Championship. A playlist here on the channel will be available. And with that, let's jump into it. Okay, so we have Ermac. Ermac is pretty rad. He's a character that I think here at TCG we have a pretty difficult time building, just because of the playstyle that he has. If you've not seen one of my deck profiles, basically the way that it works is, as opposed to just reading the character off verbatim, I want to take and give you an elevator pitch of how the character works. And so basically what this character does is he wants to check a character to destroy one of my opponent's cards and keep us both at a very low count, and just use his available 6 checks to just do really cool, really awesome things, and play as aggressively and just use the characters he has, as well as just discarding cards out of his hand in order to replace them with discarding characters to replace them. A little damage is fine, but so on and so forth. I just want to hit you. And the way that this deck wants to work is it actually wants to gauge out 4 or 3 other Ermacs. So the goal is I want to see how many Ermacs I can stack onto my character. Having at least 2 is needed for combos inside of the deck, but the more that you can get, the merrier. It's strong, but you always want to pull them out of your discard pile as opposed to your deck, because we want to check them as much as we can, and checking extra 6s is desirable. So the other characters that we're playing are Takeda, Reptile, Yuri, Amy, and Hiei. These are the 5 extra characters that we're playing. You don't have to necessarily play these characters. What Tyler said whenever he built this deck was he just wanted at least representation of at least one symbol for each symbol in the game. Personally, if I was making this deck, I might have actually played more characters than just the extra 8 that we're playing here. I would have actually probably made it closer to 12 or even closer to 16 maybe, just because I really want to trigger this Ermac ability. But the characters that you pick is totally your choice. It's also dependent on the meta of the game at the moment, which is why these characters are so hard to build. So the first attack that we're playing is for Ruse Signet, hence the new reason to have Ermac. This card just gets really big really fast, and it gauges, and you get to play it twice if you have an additional Ermac. And so it's 2 damage. It gets probably 2 damage at least off of Ermac, depending on the symbols my character has, as well as it gets an additional damage off of itself at least. And the more that we have, the more that we can stack it together. Just doing cool character stuff, and then just playing one card, playing it again, ignoring as little progressive as possible. And so checking the characters is as good as it can be. Up next, we're playing Triple Affliction. Like we said, we want to gauge in our characters as much as we can. Maybe we could have hit something that's a little heavier hitting than the Affliction inside of this slot. I think the Signet's good enough for the gauge, but this is the deck that Tyler built. I think this is probably one of the weakest attacks in the deck, though. Up next, the reason we're trying to gauge stuff out actually is Rose Mystique. It's super easy to kill people when they don't have a hand, and so we were trying to experiment and see if we could just gauge out all of a character and then just play this and dumpster them on turn 2, turn 3, because playing the Rose Mystique after, so playing Signet, getting my gauge, I could Rose Mystique, make them discard the cards, and then I could just play Signet again, and then it'll flip afterwards, and then I could play another card and then maybe commit Ermac. And this is all off of no foundations, depending on how well I checked. Making sure that they can't block is the best thing whenever Ermac just gives actually a bunch of damage, depending on the characters that we have in our deck. Up next, we're playing Double Soul Ball. This card makes 3 checks, as well as being a 6. It's got 6, 6, 6. It's got 3 6s over here. It also has Breaker 1 on a mid block, trying to end their turn, because actually we're probably only going to get 1 block inside of this deck. It's important to make sure that you pick and choose your blocks carefully, and the fact that this has a mid block and is a 1 mid block is very good. Playing Double Soul Charge, like we said, we kind of want to just buster them out with just 1 really big Spirit Bomb. And this card says remove remove cards and get X damage. And so if I discard their entire hand with Rose Mystique because I've added a couple character cards, and then just get 14 damage on this thing, and hey, 19 damage for free. I gotcha. Bop, gotcha. We've got triple downward spiral for the same reason of soul charge is after I've discarded your hand, just catch you with another downward spiral. I want to get rid of my hand. Ermac says discard an attack or discard a card. You do get to draw an additional card, but that's irrelevant. But I'm trying to pump as much damage whenever they're in the weakest state possible. Because we're playing so many 6s, it's actually possible for me to go, if I draw all 3 of these on turn 1, just go on a 4, on a 5, on a 6, and then just kill you because of it, because of all the 6s we're playing. And my last attack is a double Casa de Leviathan, just kind of double downing on the extra. I want to blow up your foundations. Any momentum that I get by accidentally sneaking an attack in just goes to destroying more foundations, getting you closer to the danger zone by making you pay vitality, losing your hands, so my downward spirals are a little crazier. On the assets and the foundations, we're playing 1 Maus and Aeus, turning every attack into a copy of a Downward Spiral or a Rose Mystique or something along those lines is just good enough, as well as being able to toss characters back in my deck in order to check them. Really good synergy combo piece here. I'm playing 1 Albion. Albion says I can lift up one of the Ermacs that I've gauged in and have a perfect block, as well as it gives any of my other attacks a gauge. We're playing 4. Here we go. Here we go. Just says add a character to my hand, which is probably one of the characters that is an Ermac, depending on the symbols that my opponent's playing. It says that enhance, add a character to make sure that I can draw an additional card and get more damage, or I can just attach another Ermac to me. Just pick up a 0 mid block, or pick up have a 0 low block. This card is it covers both of those zones. We're playing 4 the Tagoro Brothers. We're already destroying foundations. Let's triple down on it. We're playing Ermac, we're playing Casa, we're playing the Tagoro Brothers. Because of the fact that I'm going to be building very few foundations because of how my character works and just wanting to check all these characters, getting rid of their foundations is also very good. If I can't have foundations, nobody can. Lastly, we're playing 1 Spell Circle. Discarding a card to make sure that I have a momentum is really good with Rose Mystique, as well as just pitching the extra card out of their hands, so things like my Downward Spiral can just get there. Onto the foundations. So the first section that I have when it comes to foundations, because I don't normally do foundations in just whatever. I do them in kind of pods and groups. So the first one is using the character cards. Commit my character with both discard, draw, or enhance, destroy, discard a card with a control of 6, so this thing as well as any other characters or so on and so forth reduces the dex damage to 1. Essentially, trade my 0 mid block to make sure I just don't take any damage from it. Playing 1 We Are Many, You Are But One. This says enhance once per turn. My opponent's starting character gets 1 resource symbol of my choice. I'm always going to pick Void because it's the symbol that every single one of my characters share. Fair? So it's at least 2 damage on all of my discard off of Ermac. We're playing 3 Domination Over the Earth. This card says response discard pile. After I check this card, look at the top card of my deck. I can discard it, or even better, response flip. After I check a character card, add it to the top of my deck. And here's the way the interaction works, right? So I get to take and I check my Ermac. I will respond with Dominion Over the Earth to put the Ermac back on top, and then respond with Ermac to destroy the foundation that I just had to make them destroy another one. And then I make another check. I check with whatever. I check, respond, stack, do it again. And so every time that I find a Dominion of the Earth, it is destroy a face-down resource and stack an additional character /6 check on top of my deck. Incredibly strong. We're playing double Profane Sanctuary. Make sure that Breaker doesn't end our turn, as well as seeing the characters in our discard pile so that we can effectively pick them back up and out. We're playing 4 Radical Edward. After this card is checked, add any character back to my hand. And so this card... Wow, excuse me. This card says, after I check it, just add a 0 mid block or add a +2 at least damage to my hand. Under the defensive foundations, we've got triple Conquest of Terror, just flip for -2 speed. A lot of our cards we want to say flip because I want to be okay with destroying them. And if I've already used their ability to make sure that if I've already used their ability, I feel way better about blowing up a face down than I do about blowing up a face up. So flip cards are incredibly strong. Playing double TK after my opponent pumps something, I'm going to just get rid of that pump. And if I can check a 6 while doing it, even better. I'm playing a ton of them. I'm playing double face of a monster. It's just a little more defense, making sure that I can Desperation Enhance, change the zone of this attack, probably to mid so I can block with a character. We're playing double Aswell's Little Doll. Responses are insane, and I don't want my stuff to get revoked, right? It would feel really, really bad to discard a character card. Double checking. Yeah, discard a character card, get revoked. Oh, I just -1 hand size myself for no reason. Well, now I'll get rid of this foundation that I was probably already going to get rid of and be chill with it. We're playing a 4 Uniting Rebels. It's just more 6 checks. It's the deck's really bad at defending itself, and so this is just 4 extra life that I get every turn. We're playing 4 Winter Rose, just as the last 6 check. This card, its abilities are not that useful, but it is a 0 diff, which I want to be able to play out as many foundations as I can, and then check my 6 in order to try and push for harder, bigger strings. That's the one benefit that Ermac has as a deck, is as opposed to doing math on 5s, normally we should be doing math on 6s. All right, so that was Tyler's Ermac deck. If you like it, let us know down in the comments down below what you think. If you don't like it, hey, we'd love the criticism as well. I know I've already given plenty of notes inside of the video. If you want to see how the Ermac deck does, make sure you go and check out the Campus Championship profiles. End of the line here on the channel, or the matches, not the profiles. You'll watch the profiles on the channel. It'll be under its own playlist. And if you want to catch all the matches live, go to twitch.tv/TCGUniversity. And every Tuesday, starting at 6 o'clock at night, we record and live stream all those matches for you. So with that, if you liked the video, thank you very much, and we greatly appreciate it. Thank you for watching.